Thank you all for being here today. As legal counsel to victims of atrocities and political prisoners, leading parliamentarians from across party lines, and esteemed civil society and community leaders like Nazanin Afshinjam, the head of the Iranian Justice Collective, we are also here to underscore how Canada can respond to the atrocities unfolding in Iran. In our respective roles, we have seen the horrifying human stories behind the staggering statistics of abuse in Iran. Iran has the highest rate of child executions in the world, the highest per capita rate of executions more generally, the highest rate of state hostage takings, and the highest per capita rate of imprisoned journalists in the world. This has real and tangible costs for Canadians.
My name is Shuv Majumdar. I'm the Vice Chair of the Subcommittee for International Human Rights today. This is a moment perhaps as significant as the Berlin Wall falling itself. Can you imagine with me for a moment what the region and the world might look like without the IRGC and the Supreme Leader's ambitions for terrorist control in the region, for nuclear ambitions to terrorize the world, and for the subjugation that he has been responsible through his organizations to repress the rights of his own people? Can you imagine for a moment what a world of peace might look like if we listened to the call of the Iranian people, of whom tens of thousands have now been brutally massacred? Expel from Canada the individuals acting as agents of the regime and secure our borders so they can't seek refuge in Canada in the first place. I am so grateful to the incredible people at the Raoul Wallenberg Center, Professor Kotler, Brandon Silver, and their entire team for bringing this team together. I'm so grateful to my friend and colleague Nazanin Afshinjam, who for decades has been a powerful proponent for the Iranian people, all of them and their rights and their dignity. So let me support now the calls to action today. Sanction the Supreme Leader. Encourage allies like the United Kingdom to act swiftly, as Europe has finally done, and designate the IRGC as a terrorist organization. And finally, pursue justice and accountability, including opening a structural investigation into crimes against humanity by the clerical military dictatorship of Iran's officials. Thank you very much.
Today, the world must understand one simple truth. What is happening in Iran is a mass atrocity. At least 33,000 innocent, peaceful protesters have been killed, 300,000 injured, and tens of thousands arrested in just a few days, largely out of the world's sight due to a deliberate internet blackout designed to hide the evidence. The scale and speed of this violence are unprecedented. Former UN prosecutor in The Hague, Payam Akhavan, referenced this as the Iranian Holocaust. Wounded peaceful protesters are hunted down in hospitals and finished off with bullets to the head. Men, women, and children are executed, tortured, disappeared, and buried in secret graves. Doctors are arrested and in some cases sentenced to death for treating the wounded. Lawyers are detained simply for defending their clients. Families, after rooting through piles and piles of body bags in overflowing warehouses, are forced to pay for the bullets used to kill their children and forced into silence. With the level of coordinated violence, machine guns used on unarmed protesters, shoot-to-kill orders from senior officials, and the hiring of militias from other countries to kill innocent Iranians, statements of concern or condemnation no longer suffice. They do not stop bullets, executions, or mass graves. Les mots de condamnation ne suffisent plus. Nous avons besoin d'actions concrètes. Canada has been a leader before by closing the IRI embassy and listing the IRGC on the terrorist list. Canada can continue to take leadership and use all tools, diplomatic, legal, economic, and humanitarian, to protect lives. As an Iranian Canadian linked with a network of over 100 Iranian diaspora groups, I support the Raoul Wallenberg Foundation's recommendation that our allies list the IRGC on the terrorist list, particularly the United Kingdom, and that Canada and RCMP initiate structural investigations into individuals in Canada implicated in crimes against humanity in Iran, ensuring accountability and preventing perpetrators from finding safe haven here. This will be echoed in my remarks at the Subcommittee on Human Rights here in Parliament today, along with other recommendations like the responsibility to protect. History will not ask whether we issued enough condemnations. It will ask whether we acted when the evidence was clear and the warning signs unmistakable. Let us not have to repeatedly say never again. Let us instead say not ever, when we have the capacity to stop an atrocity. If the international community, including Canada, has the political will, we have the capacity to stop an atrocity and save lives. The Islamic Republic in Iran committed crimes against humanity during the last round of protests, during the Women Life Freedom protests. Merci.
We are calling on the Canadian government to lead decisively in response to the Islamic Republic's widespread crackdown against peaceful protesters and its external aggression abroad. The sheer scale of the regime's systematic brutality is unprecedented. By conservative estimates, at least 33,000 Iranians have been massacred, with credible assessments ranging far higher. Experts describe it as the worst mass killing in Iran's modern history. Others conclude it meets the legal threshold for crimes against humanity. Alongside this, Canada and liberal democracies face escalating threats from the Islamic Republic and its proxies, including growing transnational repression and lethal threats against Canadians. Iranians continue to rise up against the regime's tyranny and to risk their lives in pursuit of a secular democratic Iran grounded in basic human rights. Canada must respond with urgency and resolve.
I'm happy today to be standing here with my colleagues and friends endorsing the work of our subcommittee on human rights and the recommendations going forward which demand additional action from Canada. Canada designated IRGC last year, and we are now expecting and waiting for UK to do a similar action. The innocent people that are massacred, whether it's by hanging or being shot in the streets while they are protesting. All of us as Canadians need to stand together, and we're standing for one purpose, for human rights, for freedom, and for the Iranian people to be able to live in a democracy.
Bonjour, je suis Julie Miville-Deschênes, sénatrice indépendante, et donc je me joins à ce groupe. Le Canada se doit d'agir pour montrer son soutien au peuple iranien qui s'est soulevé contre le régime des ayatollahs. Des manifestations pourtant légitimes contre les autorités iraniennes ont été réprimées férocement, dans le sang. Certains parlent de massacres orchestrés par l'État. On estime qu'il y a des dizaines de milliers de morts, on ne sait pas combien. Nous voulons aussi nous assurer que ces complices iraniens réfugiés au Canada sont démasqués et qu'on ferme la frontière aux autres, gardiens de la révolution qui chercheraient refuge au Canada. Merci.
Thank you, Nazanin, for your very eloquent and moving remarks and call to action, and for MPs Shuvaloy Majumdar, Judy Sgro, and Senator Miville-Deschênes, again representing both houses and both the Liberal and Conservative parties in joining this clarion call on behalf of the brave people of Iran and for justice and human rights.